October 4th, 1982. A Cadillac Eldorado explodes in a Tony Roma's parking lot in Las Vegas. The blast is so powerful it sends the vehicle spinning through the air like a toy. When firefighters pull open the twisted metal, they find Frank Lefty Rosenthal still breathing. He should not be alive. The mob wanted him dead. They made one critical mistake. They did not know about a steel plate under the driver's seat that saved his life. The explosion. It is a Monday evening in Las Vegas. The desert heat is finally breaking as the sun sets behind the spring mountains. Frank Rosenthal finishes dinner at Tony Roma's, his favorite spot for ribs. He has his usual table, the one where he can see the door. Old habits die hard when you have spent your life around dangerous men. Lefty walks to his Cadillac Eldorado parked in the lot. He is dressed sharp as always, tailored suit, perfectly knotted tie, every hair in place. At 52 years old, he is one of the most powerful men in Las Vegas. He runs the Stardust, the Fremont, the Hacienda, and the Marina. 4 major casinos answer to him. The mob's entire Vegas operation flows through his hands. He slides into the driver's seat and turns the key. The explosion rips through the parking lot with a thunderous crack. The Cadillac erupts in flames. The blast is so violent it lifts the entire vehicle off the ground, spinning it counterclockwise through the air. Windows shatter in the restaurant. Car alarms scream. People hit the pavement, covering their heads from falling debris. The Eldorado crashes back down, engulfed in fire. Black smoke pours into the Nevada sky. This is a professional hit. Someone planted a bomb in Lefty's car right there in broad daylight in Las Vegas. They wanted to send a message. They wanted to make sure Frank Rosenthal died screaming. But here's the thing about Lefty Rosenthal. He does not die easy. Firefighters arrive within minutes. They spray foam on the burning wreckage, expecting to find a corpse. Instead, when they pry open the twisted driver's door, Frank Rosenthal looks up at them. He is conscious, burned, bloodied, and in shock, but he is breathing. He says, "Get me out of here." The firefighters cannot believe it. This car is destroyed. The bomb went off directly beneath the driver's seat. Nobody survives this kind of explosion. But Rosenthal is talking, moving, aware of his surroundings. It is impossible, except it is happening right in front of them. They pull him from the wreckage and load him into an ambulance. As the paramedics work on him, racing toward the hospital, Lefty knows exactly what just happened. The mob tried to kill him. The organization he has worked for his entire adult life just attempted to murder him in a casino parking lot. And they failed. The reason Lefty survives comes down to pure chance. That specific Cadillac model has a reinforced steel plate mounted under the driver's seat. It is a safety feature designed to protect the fuel tank in a rear-end collision. When the bomb detonates, this plate deflects most of the blast downward and outward, away from Rosenthal's body. It is a 1 in a million accident of engineering that keeps him alive. But Lefty does not feel lucky. He is lying in a hospital bed, counting his wounds, and he knows this is just the beginning. Everything he has built in Las Vegas is about to come crashing down. The question is no longer whether he will survive, it is whether he will walk away with anything left. The Golden Boy, Frank Lefty. Rosenthal is born in Chicago on June 12, 1929. His parents run a small grocery store on the west side. It is the middle of the Depression. Money is tight, but the Rosenthals make it work. Young Frank grows up in a Jewish neighborhood, surrounded by the sounds and rhythms of immigrant Chicago. From the beginning, Lefty is different. He is smart, not just smart, but scary smart. Numbers come to him naturally. He can calculate odds in his head faster than most people can write them down. By the time he is a teenager, he is already showing the talent that will define his entire life. He discovers sports betting at 15, not the casual kind, the serious kind. Lefty studies games like a scholar studies ancient texts. He reads injury reports, weather forecasts, and coaching tendencies. He watches how teams perform in different situations. He builds complex mathematical models before computers exist to help him. And he wins. Consistently, reliably, he wins. By his early 20s, Lefty Rosenthal is making more money from betting than most men make from working. He has a reputation in Chicago's underground gambling scene as one of the sharpest handicappers in the country. Bookies hate him because he is too good. Other bettors want to follow his picks because when Lefty bets big, he usually wins. The nickname Lefty does not come from his politics or his handedness. It comes from his betting strategy. Rosenthal has a technique where he bets both sides of a game, creating situations where he cannot lose. It is called lefty-righty, and he masters it young. The name sticks. But Lefty wants more than just betting. He wants to be on the other side of the counter. He wants to be the house. So he starts booking bets himself, taking action from other gamblers. He is good at this too. He knows how to balance his books, how to manage risk, how to stay profitable even when the bettors get hot. This is where the trouble starts. In Chicago, you can't run a gambling operation without permission. The Outfit, Chicago's branch of the Italian mafia, controls illegal gambling in the city. They do not appreciate freelancers, and if you want to book bets in Chicago, you work for them or you do not work at all. Lefty makes his deal with the devil. He starts working with the Outfit, using his handicapping genius to make them money. He is not Italian, so he can never be a made member of the mob, but he is too valuable to ignore. The bosses recognize talent when they see it. Through the 1950s and 60s, Rosenthal becomes the Outfit's go-to guy for sports betting. He is running major gambling operations, handling hundreds of thousands of dollars in action. He is also getting arrested a lot. The FBI watches him constantly. They know he is connected to organized crime, but Lefty is slippery. He never carries anything incriminating. He never writes anything down. He keeps everything in his head, that brilliant, dangerous head of his. The arrests pile up, but the convictions do not stick. Lefty beats case after case. He has good lawyers and better luck. The Outfit is impressed. This kid is loyal, smart, and seemingly untouchable by law enforcement. By the late 60s, Rosenthal is handling the Outfit's sports betting operations across multiple cities. He is making serious money not just for himself, but for the bosses back in Chicago. He has proven himself. He has earned their trust. And that is when someone suggests he should go to Las Vegas. The Chicago Connection. The first time Frank Rosenthal meets Anthony Spilotro, they are both young men in Chicago. Tony is a few years younger than Lefty, born in 1938 to Italian immigrant parents. He is short, barely 5'5", but he has a reputation as one of the most violent enforcers in the Outfit. They come from different worlds. Lefty is the bookish gambler, the numbers genius who avoids violence. Tony is the muscle, the guy who makes people disappear when they cross the wrong people. But somehow they click. They become friends, real friends, not just business associates. Tony respects Lefty's intelligence. Lefty appreciates Tony's loyalty. In the brutal world of organized crime, having a friend you can trust is rare and valuable. They watch each other's backs. They socialize together. Their wives become friends. For a while, it's almost like a normal friendship, except both men are career criminals. In the early 1970s, Las Vegas is a goldmine for organized crime. Casinos are printing money, and the mob has its fingers in several major properties. But they need someone to manage their operations, someone who understands gambling from every angle. Someone like Frank Rosenthal. The Outfit sends Lefty to Vegas in 1968. His job is simple: oversee the sports betting operations and keep an eye on their casino interests. Make sure the money flows back to Chicago. Do not attract attention from the law. Lefty loves Las Vegas immediately. The desert, the neon lights, the 24-hour action, this is his natural habitat. In Chicago, he was always looking over his shoulder, always one step ahead of the FBI. In Vegas, gambling is legal. He can do what he does best without constantly dodging the cops. He starts working at the Stardust Hotel and Casino. The Stardust is a major property on the Strip, and the Outfit has hidden interests in it through front men. Lefty's official title keeps changing: consultant, food and beverage director, entertainment coordinator. But everyone knows what he really does. He runs the place. A few years later, Tony Spilotro follows Lefty to Vegas. The Outfit sends Tony in 1971 with a different mission. While Lefty manages the casinos, Tony is supposed to protect the Outfit's interests through intimidation and violence. He is the enforcer, the guy who handles problems that cannot be solved with spreadsheets. Tony sets up in Vegas and immediately starts causing chaos. He forms a crew of burglars and robbers called the Hole in the Wall Gang. They break into homes and businesses across Las Vegas, stealing jewelry, cash, and valuables. Tony also gets involved in loan sharking, extortion, and drug dealing. He is supposed to be keeping a low profile, protecting the outfit's interests quietly. Instead, he is turning Las Vegas into his personal crime spree. Lefty watches this with growing concern. Tony is his friend, but Tony is also reckless. Every time Spilotro commits a violent crime or gets his name in the papers, it brings heat on the entire operation. The whole point of the Vegas setup is to make money quietly. Tony cannot seem to help himself, but they are still close. They still trust each other. Lefty believes Tony will protect him if things go wrong. Tony believes Lefty will make them both rich. By the mid-70s, Rosenthal is running 4 major casinos: the Stardust, the Fremont, the Hacienda, and the Marina. He is the most powerful gambling executive in Las Vegas, even though he does not officially hold a gaming license. The Nevada Gaming Control Board refuses to license him because of his organized crime connections. So the casinos put other people's names on the paperwork while Lefty runs the show from the shadows. He transforms how casinos operate. He introduces sports betting in a major way. He upgrades security systems. He creates loyalty programs to keep customers coming back. He is years ahead of his competition in understanding what makes casinos profitable. But the whole operation depends on one thing: the skim. Building an empire. The Stardust in the 1970s is a money-printing machine. Slot machines, table games, sports betting, cash flows through this place like water. Every night, millions of dollars in revenue come through the casino cage. And every night, before that money gets counted officially, a portion of it disappears. This is the skim. This is how the mob steals from its own casinos. Here's how it works. The casino has official revenues that get reported to the government and taxed. But before the money gets counted for those official books, trusted employees pull cash out of the count rooms. They stuff it in bags and boxes. They hide it in secret compartments. Then they send it back to the mob bosses in Chicago, Kansas City, Milwaukee, and Cleveland. It is the perfect crime. The casino is still profitable on paper, so nobody suspects anything. The skimmed money never appears in any ledger, so the government does not know it exists. The mob bosses get their cut tax-free, and everyone involved gets rich. Lefty does not directly handle the skim. He is too smart for that. He positions himself as the casino executive, the public face of these operations. But he knows exactly what is happening in those count rooms. He hires the people who make it possible. He creates the systems that allow it to work. He is the architect of this entire criminal enterprise, and he is brilliant at it. Under Rosenthal's management, the Stardust becomes one of the most successful casinos in Las Vegas. He upgrades everything. He brings in top entertainment. He creates the first modern sportsbook with big screens and comfortable seating. He understands that people do not just want to gamble, they want an experience. The Stardust's success is obvious. Lefty also has a massive ego. In 1977, Lefty starts hosting a television show called The Frank Rosenthal Show. It airs locally in Las Vegas. He interviews celebrities, performs comedy sketches, and basically turns himself into a Vegas celebrity. Frank Sinatra appears as a guest. So do football players, entertainers, and politicians. The show is Lefty's vanity project, his way of becoming legitimate. He wants to be seen as more than a mobbed-up casino manager. He wants respect, recognition, fame. But the show also makes him a target. Every time he appears on television, he is reminding law enforcement that this unlicensed gambling operator is running major casinos in their city. The FBI is watching everything. They have had Lefty Rosenthal on their radar since his Chicago days. Now they are building a massive case against organized crime's infiltration of Las Vegas casinos. They are recording phone calls, following suspects, documenting the skim operation. They know what is happening at the Stardust, they just need to prove it. Meanwhile, Lefty's personal life is getting complicated. In 1969, he marries Jerry McGee, a former showgirl and chip hustler. Jerry is beautiful, charming, and deeply troubled. She has substance abuse problems and a history of destructive relationships. Lefty falls for her hard anyway. They have 2 children together, a daughter named Stephanie and a son named Steven. On the surface, they look like the perfect Vegas power couple. Lefty is running the biggest casinos in town. Jerry is gorgeous and glamorous. They live in a mansion, drive expensive cars, and throw lavish parties. But behind closed doors, the marriage is a disaster. Jerry is drinking heavily, using drugs, and spending money at an alarming rate. She is also staying in touch with her ex-boyfriend, Lenny Marmor, a low-level criminal and con artist. Lefty knows about Marmor, and it drives him crazy. He is insanely jealous, controlling, and possessive. The marriage becomes a war zone. They fight constantly. Jerry threatens to leave and take the children. Lefty threatens to cut her off financially. They reconcile, then fight again, then reconcile again. It is a toxic cycle that neither of them can break. And then Jerry does something unforgivable. She starts having an affair with Tony Spilotro. The Skim. By the late 1970s, the Skim operation at Las Vegas casinos is pulling in millions of dollars annually for the mob. It is one of the most successful criminal enterprises in American history. The bosses in Chicago, Kansas City, and Milwaukee are getting rich off money that the government does not even know exists. But the FBI knows. They have been investigating organized crime's control of Las Vegas casinos for years. They have wiretaps, surveillance photos, and informants. They are building a case that will eventually bring down the entire operation. In 1979, the FBI plants listening devices in a grocery store in Kansas City. The store is owned by mob associates, and they use the back room for meetings. The FBI records hours of conversations where mob bosses discuss the Skim operation in detail. They talk about how much money they are taking. They mention Frank Rosenthal by name. These tapes are devastating. They prove beyond any doubt that organized crime is stealing from Las Vegas casinos. The FBI now has the evidence they need to prosecute. Meanwhile, the Nevada Gaming Control Board is conducting its own investigation. They have known for years that Frank Rosenthal is running major casinos without a license. They tolerated it because they could not prove he was doing anything illegal. But now, with the FBI investigation making headlines, they decide to act. In 1976, the Gaming Control Board tells Rosenthal he needs to apply for a gaming license. If he wants to keep running casinos in Nevada, he needs to go through the official licensing process like everyone else. This is a problem for Lefty because he knows he will never get approved. His criminal record and mob connections make him unlicensable. But Lefty is stubborn. He files the application anyway. He thinks he can charm the board, convince them he is reformed, that he is just a legitimate businessman now. He completely misjudges the situation. The hearings become a spectacle. The Gaming Control Board questions Rosenthal about his organized crime connections. They ask about his arrests, his associations with known mobsters, his finances. Lefty tries to dance around the questions using his intelligence and quick wit to avoid giving straight answers. It does not work. In 1979, the Gaming Control Board formally denies his application. They rule that Frank Rosenthal is unsuitable to hold a gaming license in Nevada. He is officially banned from working in any Las Vegas casino. Lefty appeals the decision. The appeals drag on for years, tying everything up in legal knots. During this time, he continues running the casinos through technicalities and loopholes. He changes his job title to entertainment consultant or food and beverage manager. He claims he is not involved in gaming operations, even though everyone knows he is still calling the shots. But the walls are closing in. The FBI investigation is expanding. More wiretaps are revealing more evidence. The mob bosses are getting nervous. They are worried that Lefty knows too much, that if he gets arrested, he might cooperate with prosecutors to save himself. Tony Spilotro is causing even more problems. His hole-in-the-wall gang is robbing houses and businesses all over Las Vegas. In 1979, they break into Bertha's Gifts and Home Furnishings and steal over $1 million in jewelry and merchandise. The burglary is eventually tied to Tony's crew, bringing even more law enforcement attention. The mob bosses in Chicago decide Tony has become a liability. He is too violent, too reckless, too visible. Instead of protecting their interests in Vegas, he is destroying them. They start planning to eliminate him. They are also reconsidering Frank Rosenthal. Lefty has made them a fortune, but now he is fighting with the Gaming Control Board and appearing in newspapers. His television show makes him a celebrity, which is the exact opposite of what the mob wants. They need their casino operations to be invisible. Lefty has made himself the most famous unlicensed casino manager in America. Love and betrayal. The affair between Jerry Rosenthal and Tony Spilotro destroys what's left of Lefty's life. He's already losing his casinos, fighting the gaming control board, and watching the FBI investigation close in. Now his wife is sleeping with his best friend. Lefty finds out about the affair in the worst possible way. Jerry doesn't hide it well. She's seen around town with Tony. People talk. In Las Vegas, everyone knows everyone's business. Word gets back to Lefty that his wife and his oldest friend are betraying him. He confronts Jerry. She admits it. They have a massive fight that turns physical. The police are called. It's ugly, public, and humiliating. The betrayal cuts deeper than anything else Lefty has experienced. He's survived FBI investigations, gaming control board hearings, and mob politics. But this, his wife and his best friend, this breaks something in him. Jerry's addiction problems are spiraling out of control. She's drinking around the clock. She's using cocaine and prescription pills. She's taking huge amounts of cash from their joint accounts and giving it to Lenny Marmore. She's emotionally unstable, paranoid, and destructive. In 1980, Jerry leaves Lefty and moves to Los Angeles with the children. She takes hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash and jewelry. Lefty goes to court to try to get custody of the kids. The divorce proceedings are vicious. Both sides accuse the other of being unfit parents. Jerry's mental state deteriorates rapidly. She's burning through money, staying in expensive hotels, and disappearing for days at a time. Her family tries to intervene, but she won't accept help. Meanwhile, Tony Spilotro is dealing with his own problems. The Chicago outfit is furious with him. The FBI is investigating him for multiple murders. His hole-in-the-wall gang has been arrested. Everything Tony touches turns into a federal case. The bosses order Tony to lay low, stop committing crimes, and focus on protecting the skim operation. Tony ignores them. He can't help himself. He keeps robbing, extorting, and killing. Lefty knows the mob is losing patience with both of them. He can feel the organization turning against him. The same people who made him rich and powerful are now seeing him as a liability. He's fighting the gaming control board in court, which means he's generating headlines and legal documents that could be used against the mob in the FBI investigation. In 1982, Lefty's luck finally runs out completely. The Gaming Control Board places him in the Black Book, Nevada's official list of people banned from entering any casino in the state. It is called the List of Excluded Persons, but everyone calls it the Black Book. Being placed in the Black Book is a death sentence for Lefty's career. Everything he's built in Las Vegas is gone. He can't work in casinos, he can't enter casinos, he can't even gamble in casinos. The thing he's been best at his entire life, gambling and running casinos and working the odds, is now illegal for him in the state of Nevada. He appeals the decision, but he knows it's hopeless. The Gaming Control Board wants him gone. The FBI wants him prosecuted. The mob wants him quiet. And then someone puts a bomb under his car. The fall. After the car bombing, Lefty Rosenthal goes into hiding. He knows the mob tried to kill him, and he knows they will try again. He moves constantly, never staying in one place too long. He hires bodyguards. He becomes paranoid, suspicious of everyone around him. The FBI offers him protection in exchange for testimony against the mob. They want him to flip, to become a government witness in their massive organized crime case. They tell him they can put him in witness protection, give him a new identity, and keep him safe from retribution. Lefty refuses. Despite everything, the bombing, the betrayals, and losing his casinos, he will not cooperate with law enforcement. He is still loyal to the code. You do not rat. You do not testify against your own people, even when those people tried to murder you. The FBI investigation continues without him. They have enough evidence from the Kansas City wiretaps and other sources. In the mid-'80s, they start arresting mob bosses and casino employees involved in the skim operation. Dozens of people are indicted. The entire Las Vegas skim network collapses. Tony Spilotro is in even worse trouble. The Chicago outfit blames him for bringing heat to Vegas. They blame him for the FBI investigation, for the unwanted attention, and for ruining their casino operations. In June 1986, Tony and his brother Michael are called to a meeting in Chicago. They think they are being promoted. Instead, they are beaten to death with baseball bats and fists in a basement. Their bodies are buried in an Indiana cornfield. The mob kills both brothers as punishment for Tony's recklessness in Las Vegas. When Lefty hears about Tony's murder, he knows he made the right decision by not going to that meeting. The mob had planned to kill him too. They wanted both of them dead, Lefty and Tony, the two guys who knew too much and caused too many problems. Jerry Rosenthal's life ends even more tragically. After the divorce, her drug and alcohol problems consume her completely. She moves from hotel to hotel, burning through money and cutting off contact with her family. In November 1982, just 1 month after Lefty's car bombing, Jerry checks into a Los Angeles motel. 3 weeks later, they find her body. She is 46 years old. The coroner rules it an accidental overdose, a mixture of alcohol, cocaine, and Valium. But people who knew Jerry suspect it might have been suicide. Her life had spiraled so far out of control that death might have seemed like the only escape. Lefty is devastated by Jerry's death. Despite everything she did, the affairs, the stealing, the chaos, he still loved her. He has lost his wife, his best friend, his career, and nearly his life. Everything that made him powerful in Las Vegas is gone. He leaves Nevada. There's nothing left for him there anyway. The Black Book bans him from every casino in the state. The mob wants him dead. The FBI is still investigating. He's radioactive, toxic to everyone around him. The aftermath. Frank Lefty Rosenthal spends his final years drifting between California and Florida, wealthy but isolated, always watching his back. Never prosecuted for the skim, he survives by keeping distance and staying quiet. In 1995, Casino turns his life into a legend. Lefty consults on the film, finding strange vindication in its brutal accuracy. The movie brings him brief fame but no confessions. He dies peacefully in 2008, aged 79. His true legacy isn't the money or casinos, it's survival. The mob failed. The FBI failed. Las Vegas moved on. Lefty endured long enough to tell his story on his own terms.